Oh, am I live? I am live. I don't know why it keeps showing me like two streams here in YouTube. It's only one stream though. One stream. One stream at a time. Alright, one. Yeah, now it's showing one. Nice. Nice. Alright, we are live. Took like couple of tries. Couple of tries to get it right. Just want to make sure everything is efficiently working. Everything is okay. All right, we're gonna play rapid games. Haven't streamed here in a while. I think we haven't played here in a while. Question is finding a game. It's key. Find a game. Wait, could we find a game? Could we find a game? That's actually the interesting part. Finding a game. Speed. Speed. All right, we found a game. 2 years. All right. We could play my opening. I've been playing my opening. If somebody doesn't know this opening, check the YouTube. This is actually garbage, but this is actually the maneuver opening that I created from scratch. It's on YouTube though. It's on YouTube, so you could check it out to see what exactly this is all about. What the move order, what the lines, all this kind of stuff. So it goes around here, here, and then we complete the maneuver idea. So the knight is no longer like trappy on a3 or misplaced. I wouldn't say trappy, but it's more like misplaced on a3, and eventually get the knight activated on d3, which should be the goal. So he could play e5. He did not. We play h4, try to go for preparing this here in some kind of knight g5. All right, we are attacking. Should it be interesting? Maybe it's g5. He's not taking on g5. I don't know why, but supposedly here, and if he goes here, knight f5. Now if he goes here, or he goes there, that's interesting choices. I could still play e4. So e4, this is actually my idea all along. Something like here, we attack c6, you attack on g6. Everything is good here, perhaps. Knight f4 is, almost tempting as well. I think knight f4 would have been a move, I think. I forgot that there's knight e6, so g5 is met by knight e6, so it could be a move. He played e6, so maybe it's my turn to play here, but the difference is he has queen e8. Queen e8. I could still take maybe, and if this were to happen, knight f4 and rook e1, let's see what happens. He's gonna take this way though, I think. He's gonna take this way, but it may be a good chance he might do this, thinking the pawn is weak on e6. He's gonna take this way. Yeah, I don't think that's... I can still play knight f4. Alright, he went with here. So now we could play... The idea is knight f4 if here, knight here. Supposedly this is still... They also have some sack. We're gonna do it for fun. I mean, he can still play here. I'm assuming he could give an exchange, and the knight is attacked on h4. We'll see. I mean, I can still play here. So even here. At the very, there's some situation where he does take on g7. Knight h5. I mean, this has to be horrible somehow for black, but somehow doesn't feel like it's a good setup for black. You know, he's just depending on g5. Because g5 attacks most knights. He's also here, actually. But the real question is whether he plays here or what else does he play. He plays here. So I could still take though. Supposedly here, some kind of a blockade. Then we take. I could still play here, but this is actually the savior move for him. So I just noticed he could play. I mean, I could still play knight e6, but rook e8. Supposedly this is still good for me, but we'll play it safe and take. And I could still lining up for rook e1 here. So if he takes, the rook is hanging. May as well pre-move it. For some of you, I don't know if we don't have enough audience here, but my game was Nakamura. I just posted on YouTube, was it yesterday? Plenty of good stuff, plenty of good games. I posted 3 games, maybe more to go, more videos to go. Wow, knight b8. That's a move, like it makes you puke. I mean, first of all, this knight c7. First of all, and then we just make the move, and then we could talk. He may resign here, but he may continue. But yeah, that's. We'll give him a rematch. I don't think he's gonna accept. Maybe I hit my peak now, I think. I mean, I don't know if this is my peak, but my best, I suppose. Best rating here. So the game was Nakamura. It's like bullet tournament. So we have a draw against him. This guy is provisional. I don't know. I feel like maybe not. Provisional is kind of not a good sign. It's gonna be short stream, but we're just explaining the move as we go along. It's rapid. We'll try to get back later on Twitch. We'll see. Working on the ratings all across the board. You know, precisely the one in chess.com first, before Lead Chess. 10 hours ago, no. I mean, I don't know how many games I'm gonna award though. We'll give a refresh. All right, this guy's okay. Adam. So I've been playing this, you know, like for some time actually. I've been playing this before. This is fine though. I mean, honestly, I could play any kind of openings and I get away with this. Openings is maybe like overrated term, I think. Unless you're a really strong player, then. So typically when you play h4, do you just want to play h5? Do you want to try to make this knight? It looks silly, but typically I do here in f5, or even I could, you know, I could play knight c6. If he takes, I take with h pawn. So I could actually play knight c6. So again, if he takes this way, there's also like f5. But I'm actually attacking this right now. Maybe this is not takeable now that I'm thinking about it because bishop takes. Maybe he understands. Yeah, that's one of the drawbacks when you play knight h6. You have to be careful. Are you really taking on d4? In some lines, not all the lines. No. Yeah, it wasn't necessarily needed to push. So I guess if I play knight d4, if he goes for bishop e3, I suppose I could still play c5. Let's go for it. supposedly. Oh, I actually lose a piece. I actually lost a piece here. Yeah, I forgot about this potential. Yeah, I went to the same line again, and I get myself confused. So around here, I just have to play down, maybe. Yeah, it's equivalent to taking the pawn, and I forgot that, I was looking at bishop e3, but I forgot that he could actually take right away. That's okay, though. It's okay. I don't like being high-rated player, though, in Rapids, so maybe going a little bit lower, it's not that big, not an issue, per se. But we're not throwing games, so we cannot really throw games at all here, but... I mean, the previous game is just a blunder. Alright. So this is my opening. This is a little bit different from knight h6. Typically, that's... the idea of my opening is we just typically get to play knight d3. If you haven't checked it on YouTube, give it a try, though. Give it a try, meaning that go to my YouTube channel and check it out. It's one of my videos. I specifically talk about the lines. There's actually lines in this opening. That's one of them. It starts with a sodium attack, which is actually no attack howsoever, but I take it away from the sodium because sodium attack is like 93 c4, and I don't get to play c4. I play, what I mean by c4 is like once you play here, it's like c4 here. That marks the sodium. But I played d4, and I played like Fiend Shadow the bishop on g2, so it kind of feels like, I'm getting, basically looking at the center at some point to compete. So now this is basically the opening. You get the knight on e5, e1 and knight e3. So we could play here. So you can see that this is solid now. It's not like anybody's claiming anything. But I think, black is really safe here. So I could take e4 just to open up some lines. If he doesn't, maybe we have here. c5, this is maybe hanging. Speed. So white is already safe here. Like, it's probably more like a draw kind of stuff. So he wants to play e5, maybe f4, and this is really ambitious move, though. I'm assuming like some kind of c5 later, but maybe not now. Because this is still being attacked. So when you play rook b8, b2 is still defended. Queen b6, supposedly c5 now. It makes perfect sense. I wonder if I could play queen f3. I think this move is good, though, because if he plays c5, I could still actually take on b7, because with the help of the queen. Actually, maybe take first, bishop e3, and then bishop takes b7. It wouldn't be surprising if you do this, but it just feels a little bit passive. He went for that one instead. So the point of rook f2 is to defend b2. I don't know if this is a good move by me. I mean, supposedly... I could see like a quick f5 could happen if I'm not really, careful here, meaning that some kind of c5, bishop c6 ideas. But, maybe I want to move my bishop on e3. That's actually the goal. So rook f2, bishop e3, kind of like stopping c5 and also defending b2 at the same time. If I were to like fast enough do like bishop e3, queen takes b2 is actually playable. And if you play any kind of rook b1, I mean, let's say rook fb1, so you could defend a2, he just takes on c3. And once you take on c3, everything is falling because the pawn at d4 would be like weak. And you could actually take it next move. So I need to keep this pawn protected. And that's the point of rook f2 is actually defending, that he doesn't take on b2. Whether it's a good move or not, that's actually, whether was it necessary? I mean, there's actually other alternative, meaning that Maybe if the queen goes slide down to g2 or something, and you kind of leave the rook on f1, at this specific, if you ever need to open up lines, the rook on f1 maybe is better asset than. I mean, there's still the rook is being on f2, so you could argue that this is still okay for white. But I think queen g2 just in case if f5, bishop f3, slide the bishop down, and this maybe queen g2 was probably more precise. He played bishop here, so it's all about c5 supposedly, and maybe f5 now it's a kind of like maybe a possibility. So now if I go here, I'm still attacking on g2, b7, so maybe it's like slide down here. So the idea is very simple. If he plays f5, which maybe he's preparing this, I don't have to go like here, or even wacky bishop b1. I just go with bishop f3. So he played c5, and that feels like that's a good idea. By the way, if here he just takes, so I may have to play bishop e3. And now I'm keeping an eye on like attacking here. Should he take, which I think he might. Bishop takes, bishop c5. The real concern is b7. So he played bishop c6. What happens if I take? I suppose this pawn takes. We could go for this ending. I don't think it's queen takes. I mean, this ending maybe is beneficial for white, but I'm not sure because the open file for the d file for him. And let's say I go for everything, trading everything. Now this rook f2 that I talked about, was a really good move or not? It's being pinned by the queen. And if I don't do anything, let's say I play rook e1, he might just take on some kind of c5. That might be more annoying. I could still take takes king h1. I mean, this may be a better idea, supposedly. So I get out of the pin. He could still play queen d5. You can see the pin here, it's obvious. This is rook d2 coming in. Let's say you play some lame move by white. Let's say I play something like lame, like here, rook d2. That's a very active rook on d2. And then if you ever get to play like here, he could just take the free rook. If you get to play king f1 to get out of the pin, he could actually take and bring the other rook in. You're giving him like a free pass to come in very fast. Maybe king h1 with the idea we stopping this for now. And it's also me playing rook d2 if I want to try to counter his idea. So this is not being a move now because I get out of the pin. He could still play this one, which is very funny move though. I think this one is interesting. I think this pawn structure, like c3, b2, e2, is actually better than this pawn structure. Should we treat everything? This is actually good for white. All right, so he plays rook d3. Supposedly he wants to play here. What happens if we go for this one? If he takes, queen takes, that's good. We're stopping him from coming to d8. If he trade queen, again, this may be... I could still play queen g2. So I don't give him, like takes and then rook e2. Here, if he goes for this one, because he might go for this rook over, we could still play here. This massive trade's now going to happen on d2. Takes. This may be still good for white, supposedly. I think it's good for white. Could you play here, though? I suppose you would not allow this because queen takes c6. So maybe this is a good move. So that may be the idea. Rooks enjoy open files. Like this is what we consider open file. Like if one opponent able to to take over, like if you take rook takes here, the black rook is extremely active. You kind of want to disallow this kind of ideas as much as possible. So that's the idea why I'm considering this move. So I'm telling him, no, you're not going to have an active rooks. Now he could trade queens if he wants. He could force a trade of queens, but I think this may be good for white, if I'm not mistaken. This may be good for 3 versus 2 on the queen side, and this may be good for like for winning. Perhaps. All right, so he took. I guess maybe he's considering this. This one is not playable. King f8 is main on d8. This is actually his check is annoying right now. You went for that. So I have two choices. Queen g2. I think queen g2 is not the best move now that I'm saying it. Maybe he has this way. I mean, if he wants to draw, he takes it. The real question is if I want to continue, meaning that I take on d5, which I think I will. Takes here, king g2. This may be good in the game. I think maybe takes here, but I feel like this is maybe good for white. So how I handle this? If you play b4, it's king f8, king g2, king e7, king f3, king e6, king e3, king d6, king d4. What do you just play here? The real issue is here is c5. I don't know if this move is even good for him. Allowing this kind of stuff. Because you could play b4. So you could allow a pass pawn here in order to get like 2 for 1. And this usually ends in a win, of course, I think. We got to play king g2. This may be winning, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so he's marching in. The reason I'm winning is maybe if I get my king activated here and then I may just trade the pawns. This has to be... I don't think the 3 versus 3 here is the issue. Alright, so if I play b4, if this were to happen, or I could play here c5, king d3. Actually, it's here. So I could allow him to play c5. That's fine. So maybe it's like something to do with b4, just timing it perfectly. Maybe he just sits over there, just sitting back and forth. I guess the only way you could go wrong if you play b3, c4, d4. This actually looks like a maybe a way for black to continue. This move is very weird as well. Maybe it's b4. Now if he goes here, maybe it's like some kind of f5. So I'm just counting on the king. The king will be running out of moves. King c6 maybe the move. I think king c6. Or you could play g5. This one does not really win. Alright, takes g4. No. Let's play here. I mean, if he trades, this is where it's winning for white. Supposedly, this is winning. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if it's equal. I think there's a way to win. Okay, so let's see who's running out of time, out of moves here. He may just sit back and forth. Yeah. I have to be careful. This is a real move. Hey, how's it going? How's it going? I mean, this is maybe questionable. He's gonna take it. King c6. King takes c6. a5. I mean, I could easily lose if I'm not careful though. Takes. This is not good. Takes a5. I'm doing some counting here. Let's play here. He's not gonna take though. He's gonna sit between two squares. So draw actually. Maybe it's e5 at some point. Like here, e5. He's between two squares. Actually, this is possible. I'll offer him a draw. We'll see what happens. It's a draw, yeah. I think we're gonna take a look at it after the game. I think there's a way to win this one. Not the last position. Before. Like I had to play like b4 early on. Castles. So f5. There's also d6. He plays here. This is actually a little bit interesting. D6. He wants to play here. I guess supposedly here. We could play f5 to compete on the center. Wow, he's taking. I don't know if I like this take. Because the knight gets active. That's my concern. I mean, it's his concern, not my concern. I mean, the knight gets active. It was on h6. Now it's f5. I mean, he could still claim that there's some weaknesses on g5, but I could take takes. Feels, and I also have d5. Okay, d5. This is one move threat though. He was threatening knight f7. We just played d5 and we just shut down the bishop activity here. This feels like a little bit strange position, so I could takes, and it feels like this pawn is kind of doesn't belong on e5. I may have to take though. Do I have any other options? Queen b6, knight d7. We may continue. The real thing is he may take on f5. So let's say here he may actually do this. After rook takes, and then he played knight e2, he's defending d4. This forcing matters, but I'm not sure if I should force matters. Do I need to force it? Alright, we just do it. You do have to be careful that if I take a knight d7, there's still like knight f7. So I do have to like possibly take. You cannot go for this one, you cannot go for this one. Unless you go for that one, which still... Knight d7. Question is, his pawns are weak. I have a lack of developing here, so this is the reason why knight d7. We are going for that pawn. There's also like queen b6 ideas. e4 might be playable, but at the cost of a pawn. There's also queen b6 after e4. Oh, queen d4. I don't know if I like this move though. I could still take bishop takes, knight takes, queen d4, queen d6. I think I'm fully defended. And then just to get out of the pin, king g8 or something. The real question is, does he has anything? I don't think he do. So let's take. I mean, I don't think it's queen takes. Knight takes here is like pretty strong. It's bishop takes. King takes doesn't feel. Oh, queen takes. What I'm missing here, queen f4 instead? That's what it is. Perhaps that's actually the idea, is queen f4. I could still play here. I don't necessarily have to take the pawn right away. So if, let's say queen f4. Oh, then he has rook f1. Rook f1. I'm calling his bluff. Queen f4, knight d7. Rook f1, then maybe knight f6. Rook d1, so that's maybe the idea. Be careful here, it's like mate. So now I just move a piece, but I think there's maybe e4. Maybe it's like bishop g4. He still attacks queen f4, which is annoying, supposedly. So bishop f5, e4. Do we have check in between? That's actually maybe what I'm trying to do. If I get to play here, then black is clearly better. Alright, we do this. He may have missed queen b6. Because this is a check. So he would love to play e4, but he's not getting a chance to do it. He went with his original idea, which is okay. Let's see. I'll go back here. So it's all about defending now, like a little bit of defense because I'm up a pawn. So if, let's say, he checks on d4, you could always play e5. This is one way to counter this. There's also queen b6 at some point, keeping an eye on these pawns. He plays here. We check now. Probably I am obligated to do this. I take. Hopefully I'm not missing g4 though. Hopefully I'm not missing g4. Wow, look at the tactic. Did I miss something clear here? Take, check, here, check on c4. Ooh. Yikes. That would do. Here, check. Yeah, it looked like there's something wrong with this. Maybe here I had to do like this pawn takes and still g4. He found the tech thing out of nowhere, pretty much. Like, out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, it's because of queen b6. Yikes. I wonder if I could still play on somehow. I don't know. Looks like it's difficult. Even here is not playable. Takes, check here, e6. Takes. Yeah, the c6. He still takes though. This is actually where things are funny though. King is exposed for checks. King is exposed for checks. You have to do it. I don't think there's a way he could play on like knight e4 or bishop c4. Yeah, I gotta go for it. Welcome in. Hi, how's it going? Problem is, it's some kind of a draw. Some kind of a draw. Actually, here, you can still play this on, but... kind of risky, though. This... We could play him a little bit more, but we'll see the games at the very end. 93. 2 draws. Play here. We complete our developing here, so the knight is better on d3 instead of e3. Some kind of a knight jump on e5. Speed. It's all about the speed. Like maybe 94 takes 95. Takes 95. Wow, I did not even do it. Let's see. Takes. You know, getting the rook in a better square on c1. Can I play e4? I don't know if this is a good move. He takes, his bishop takes. If you take with the queen, you could. If you take with the queen, is actually bishop takes here, bishop takes e2. You gotta go with bishop takes, so you keep attacking the bishop. So bishop c6. There must be some kind of b5 here. Getting the bishop out. Maybe this so he could play here. Maybe. Maybe it's a move. Knight e5, we attack. I'm not sure if I like knight f6. I feel like going the other side of the board makes a little bit sense. Because knight e5 is a tempo, and it just attacks the bishop. So let's say if you go for this, you could easily make a mistake, like knight takes f7. The bishop is attacking. And if you went back here, which you probably have to, you know, that gives you some time to like try to put a piece on c7 or something. I mean, it's not easy for white quite yet to do anything, but it's just starting to look like maybe if I play here, he's meet me there. Is it queen b3, rook c1? Keeping an eye on b6. So now if he plays here, this is attackable. So the next move is rook c1, but it's not yet clear if I'm generating anything. If it's still like it's probably equal, but rook c1. This one is met by takes, queen takes b6. I don't like this one because I will be up a pawn at this situation. This potential knight c6 takes, b6 is weak. Probably gonna end in a draw. 3 draws in a row would be like insane. We'll see. You have to be careful though, like where he's going. Let's say if you went with a queen b8 or something, he's just dropping the pawn. Bishop c7. It almost feels like there's something going on after this one, but I mean, you could take knight g6. I don't know if this works. Knight h5. Looks like a real move. Looks like the way to go. So now if I go for knight c6, he might just take on c6. So he takes on c6 with ideas. He may just claim that, you know, he's going to take on f4. We both take pawns. That's not a good idea for white. Maybe I have to retreat back. And take, that becomes complicated. All right. Speed. Hardly a speed here if we're still playing rapid. Okay, he went back. I don't know if this is a really good move. So now its real idea is knight c6. How strong is this idea? He takes, bishop c7. I may have to go for it though. You have to be careful not walking here. There's a bishop defends c1. That seems to be the concern. He's likely to take, maybe. You have to watch out. There's potential. He's going to take. This is his idea. Barely hanging on. If we play here, what's next? Queen b8, e3, knight d7. Is also here. This one doesn't achieve much. He might just take. What to do? If queen d3, we are attacking e6. If I get him to play e5, that would be a good idea. Supposedly that's good, but the problem is queen d3 is queen d7. That's actually an issue. So even if I get to play queen c2, he might just defend bishop d8. He may just defend. What to do? All right, let's play this. Attacking the bishop. It's your move, sir. It's your move. F3, stopping knight e4 ideas. Also may get the bishop on d2. We'll see. He doesn't have knight d7 now because I could take. But he may have this, but I could take. So f3 is like waiting move, but it's actually a good waiting move because it does stop all these knight jumps. For example, let's say if I play b3 as a waiting move, he could play like knight g4. I mean, if I want to play here, maybe you could start playing like some kind of like f5. Try to get some play. So maybe this f3 is a good idea. So rook e8. Let's play here. Another winning move. So supposedly here I just take and b6 is still... If I play bishop d2, then he may have e5. So if I were to play here, e5, he's looking for some kind of a break. So I'm kind of like stopping all his ideas for now to see how like he handles it. Like how... what else does he has? So typically if you're able to stop all your opponent's counterplay, that's a good way to play the game as well. You don't necessarily have to go for direct, he just played slow. So he plays queen b8, which is fine. Supposedly now there's maybe potential v4. e5. And I can still take. So takes knight g4. That's a potential. Let's go for it. So the only difference, he could play knight d7, but now I'm getting central pawns in, which may complicate the game for him. So I have to. He has knight e3. That's not good though. All right, let's try this. I could take in d7. Wait, what I'm missing? Takes knight g4, d7 here. Because now I'm attacking the knight. You may have forgot that this is still potential. And here. And here. All right, let's take a look at the games. I just want to see one thing about my games. I mean, let's take a look at this one first. See what the computer. Yeah, the computer here is screaming. This is plus. Yeah, so around here, this is a big issue. So here it's a draw. You have to play bishop b4. And the reason maybe this is a draw, because obviously after here, then he could take on f2. That's actually pretty annoying. King takes. And it's the opposite color bishops. Before that, yeah, before that here, I had bishop e1. Wow, that's a move that I. Yeah, maybe I didn't go like fully in this line. Like, did not really go over this line properly. Apparently here is white is better. So something like here, you take on g2 because you still have bishop versus bishop. You don't have like an opposite call bishops kind of stuff. So here, and then he's really passive defending b6, so bishop c7, and then some kind of queen c4, and then you may have to like play b5. Computer likes queen c5. And the bishop is really passive. The whole thing is passive. It almost feels like here, but it's rook c8. So white was doing a lot better here, even before. I just want to know if my choices were really nice. It wants queen d3 and... Yeah, knight c6 is a bad idea. It wants bishop d2. It's more like the computer is looking for more, you know, like positional kind of stuff, like bishop b4. Like maybe if rook e8. Yeah, like bishop b4 is one of the moves. So supposedly if this were to happen, white is great. I mean that, but he's not going to allow this. He might just go back. Bishop c7. I mean, I felt like here he could hold. Like this is maybe easy hold. But that's a good game though. That's a good game. Now we could take a look at the other games. Let me see. Other games. Wait. I just want to see the ending. Yeah, this one. I'm interested to know the ending because this one is interesting. I actually felt like I was winning, right? So this is a draw, but... Oh, it's a draw? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a draw. I mean, I was considering, and like this may be a move that I want to play, but it's not enough. King e7, king f3, king d6. It's the same thing. And then he plays c5. Once he achieves c5, if you don't play c5 though, white is winning. So let's say he plays like h5. Yeah, it's all like g6. I just want to show what I mean by that. g6, f6. They all lead to like king d4. This is winning. Once you play here, it's totally winning. Because the king gets into d4, he's not allowed to play c5. And then obviously, even if he goes here, this is really passive city. Eventually b5 and you're winning. Something like here. And you could slow playing it, but I think the idea is like maybe f5 here. g4, a6. Computer is all over the map here. Was winning a4 here. And you could play any other move like a5 here, and let's say play h4. King D. That's maybe the easiest way to play King D6, and then you take on E6. That's one way. So the king will be running out of moves. So also here, and if you were to play here, the other side, he's just playing King D6. You winning that way. So eventually gonna pick up C6. So that's the reason why who gets to play C5 first. Just want to see if this is all like equal. Looks like all of this is equal. Just want to see if Rook F2 is a move. Wow, it's actually showing Rook F2 is like a move here. I was considering Queen G2. Wow, E5? That's a crazy move. Supposedly here and takes, yeah, this pin is pretty... Oh, maybe that's the reason why Rook F2 is pretty good. I did not even consider the possibility of E5. So Rook F2 is no E5, because you could actually take... this is not playable because the rook is actually, there's no checks, right? There's no pin. But when you play Queen G2 here, there is actually a big pin here. Rook takes. You cannot take back. The queen is covering. The queen is on B6. King G1. So it's funny that it likes Rook F2. Oh, it doesn't like Queen F3, which is funny. It still looks like Rook F2. Rook F2 is one of the moves, or even Queen D3. Queen D3 is probably a good idea. You move the queen, you just attack here, so something like here, and then maybe Rook F2. And this may be slightly... I was concerned that maybe Rook D8, and then eventually have to move your queen, and which is Queen C4. This is still equal, though. I feel like maybe this is all equal. It's a fair result, though. It feels like it's equal throughout the game. Yeah, bishop e3 maybe more like a preference here. Still not doing anything. And then he plays f5, yeah. So that's what I mean by f5. This f5 move is pretty interesting, though. And that's the reason why I play Queen G2. So here and then c5. This feel like, the problem is bishop c6. And I felt like this is not a position that I would like to see from my end. But here, apparently, this is still draw somehow. So but you can see that white is not as active. Like I'm the one has to like force the draw, I guess, like Rook D2 and some kind of here, and let's say Queen F2. It's a clash on D4. Who gets to play D4 and takes on D4. Still a draw here. Makes sense. So this takes. Yeah, the computer agrees Rook D2, and this is all like cheesy draw. So that's good. There's one more game, and I think the one that I was the draw one, right? The draw one. Let's see. I think. Wait, where's my games? Yeah, this is the one I'm talking about. This one is really wicked weird. I think I was winning somehow. Yeah, this feels like the computer agrees this is a draw. Wow, that's... Here is where I was technically winning. So he played what? He played here... King G8, though, which is... This is very easy move to make. Sometimes developing pieces, it's not the best. There are exceptions, This is one exception. I felt like bishop f5 was necessary. If you look over bishop f5, this actually went down. Like it just wants king g7, king g8. This makes perfect sense, though. Like, so the king would be stopping this kind of square. If he plays here, then he could play knight f7. That's actually the point. And then he doesn't have this e4 stuff because he could even do e5. And then this d4, e5. So you're not really attacking here, even if the d4. Let me see. There was actually another. It's actually e5. My bad. e5, not d4. Not d4. It's e5. This is a big move because the knight is sitting on f7, and then you play e5. You're attacking the queen. Let's say the queen goes to f2. The computer is just enjoying d4. In this structure, this is totally winning, even after bishop c4, queen e7. Now, I could easily play bishop e6 next move. Everything is now, collapsing for him. Plus, I have a pawn, right? So any kind of trade, it's perfectly playable. It's good for black. Yeah, very simple idea. Is just, I mean, here is already like black is much better. Um, you can see the opening because people sometimes would say, "What is knight h6 is all about?" I mean, here, yeah, sometimes you want to play careful what to do. I think around here the computer likes bishop b3. This move is interesting in so many levels, yeah. The evolution bar now once that, like, once you allow f5, yeah, it's like d5 for f5. Then black is certainly getting back to the game, move by move. And it doesn't like taking. And I remember when I was basically saying that taking is not a good idea, because taking here, now it looks like knight takes f5 and, black is in the game. It wants him to go back here, and this was interesting choice. I actually felt like this is actually the best move because after some here, maybe some kind of knight g5 or later on, or bishop g5. This may be interesting, but d5 actually missed my mouse slip here, so knight g3. There are some weak squares I have to be concerned about, but this feels like maybe I could hold. This is still like almost a blitz game though, so this is still like playable. Something like here, and I mean, it likes white's position regardless, which a little bit surprising that this is actually not holdable by black. I felt like this is okay. Yeah, as soon as he played knight e5, this is like terrible. Because you have two choices, d5, you gain a tempo, or you take on e3, and this is all leading to like a better position for black. Yeah, now it just likes all of these moves. There's actually king g8 too, and I think this king g8 mysterious king move, I actually felt like maybe here, now that I'm looking at it, king g8 may be the best. For two reasons. You may not necessarily give up your bishop for e5. I know I did it so I have double pawns, and I was looking for taking the pawn. Strategically, you could still take it next turn. So let's say he plays, let's say, there's one line that it wants him to take. So let's say queen takes f8, and let's say he plays queen e2. You could still take on e5, and that's actually what I mean. But the difference here, something like here, queen g7, or even queen g7, it feels like maybe this is better approach. But my concern is maybe like e4. But again, it's d4, bishop c4. And then let's say something like here. This may be white is still having some activity. There's rook f7 stuff happening. But you also don't have to take, like even against on queen e2, you don't really have to take here. You can just continue playing king d7. This may be a different approach, meaning that, I still have two bishops. I mean, after rook f1, you play like queen e8. This is still a good position for black. I mean, even computer wants him to take it, but then you have e5. This is actually like very good for black, even though it's equal, but I would rather be black here. It's not easy position to play for white's perspective. I mean, any kind of trade here is going to be like... you would only have to assume that black is generating something here. It might still be equal though. Perhaps. But my move is okay. Like, my move is also okay, like takes, but you need to have the right follow-up. Bishop e6 is one move as well. So you just need to develop in a certain way that you don't compromise your, your king safety. And when you take on d4, e5, you take it on your own terms without any kind of conflict. Because here I feel like bishop f5 is like rushed in so fast, but even there I could still defend like queen b8. I mean, this is also like an interesting move. So even after e4 you just take, and ooh, this is actually kind of clever though. It's the same thing. It's the same. It's the same thing though. It's the same thing. Except it's g4. If you go for this, bishop c4 is actually... I have a queen, so that's actually no longer a draw. It's g4, which actually complicates things. So typically, if you go here, then you become really passive, bishop c4. and then knight takes e4. This is actually getting complicated. I mean, I think white may have some compensation here. Good game though. I mean, obviously this is good games. We are still like 24 something, which is still pretty good performance. So keep in mind that you know, in YouTube it's gonna be only rapid most of the time. We do rapid explaining the moves, so I give the audience more time to like check the moves, and instead of like playing bullet blitz. There are exceptions that sometimes I do like blitz games on YouTube streams, maybe handful of blitz games in top of the rapid. In Twitch, it's only mostly it's gonna be like blitz bullet, pretty much like fast kind of time control. I still play rapid there, but may not explain the move as efficient than on on YouTube. Also, stay tuned. Not stay tuned. If you guys are here, you could watch my latest videos on YouTube. Nakamura, I played Nakamura. I guess I played David Pervian. I think that's his last name. Very strong GM. And I also played David Howell. All these 3 games are on YouTube. Good performance on all 3 games, actually. So, including good performance against Nakamura himself. I don't know what else is needed. So, but obviously, it's competitive games. It's for entertaining and also learning. So make sure to watch. I don't think people are aware of the videos, which is interesting. But it's okay. It would take time for people to notice performance videos, and it take time. But make sure to tune in and watch. Right, they are good stuff. More videos are probably coming in. Perhaps more YouTube. I will try to see if I could come back later tonight. If I would be back later tonight, it's going to be on Twitch or maybe more YouTube videos. Not stream, but on demand. So more videos to share, perhaps. There are videos, more shares to share. And some of them are like entertaining, as I mentioned. And there's also like learning experience, including like, it could be opening, ideas, concept, tactics, end the game struggle, where one side was able to like save a game. This kind of stuff I try to post for for a lot of reasons, and they are really entertaining, but also like really learning experience, depending on how you look at it. All right, folks, we're gonna get off here. We be back maybe later today or tomorrow. I try to stream every single day, so streaming every single day is key now. I'm trying to, so we're gonna keep going, and hopefully you guys enjoy this. All right, we're gonna get going, folks. I will see you guys later. Thank you for tuning in.